Our next guest, Jay Nelms, was born in Brazil and has always been captivated with the rainforest and its animals, especially reptiles. His love for wildlife and the beautiful tropical landscapes they reside in naturally fueled an amazing idea in Jay's mind for a business. He decided he wanted to build custom showcase environments for housing tropical rainforests and the animals that naturally reside there. The launch of his amazing online website, www.jworlds.net, was the astonishing result. Jworlds' incredible custom enclosures can be found in museums, zoos, nature centers, and in people's homes across the country. With us from jworlds.net is the mastermind behind these gorgeous enclosures, Jay Nelms, and his partner and wife, Tina Marie. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, so tell me, Jay, how did you get into this work and really come up with your designs?
Well, I always had an interest in the tropical environment with all the different animals, and especially reptiles. And I started as a kid building little enclosures for reptiles because there never seemed to be anything out there. And even today, the average homeowner has an aquarium, and these poor animals, they need to climb, they need humidity, and there doesn't seem to be anything out there. So I experimented building different enclosures, as I said, when I was a kid. And then after we got married, we had the iguana, and I said we got to build something that's conducive for this animal. So we ended up by building this giant enclosure, and then I realized they need more humidity. So I tried to, with trial and error, I made all types of different enclosures to try to contain water. They all leaked within a couple years or so, and I finally got it down to where I built the perfect enclosure now, where you can have the trees coming down into the water. The animal can climb up high, he can go down and swim, and it just makes it the perfect environment for these type of animals, and it's very aesthetically pleasing to look at.
They're beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and that's what I wondered. You know, there's a lot of enclosures on the market, you know, as you know. What makes them so different?
Well, the biggest thing I think is the water capability. It's a piece of furniture that you're looking at with a tropical environment in it, and it has all water at the base, or it could have a pool on one side and then land on the other. And the fact that it can contain water really makes it unique. There's really nothing out there that can combine that environment together.
Now, what are the enclosures made of, and how are they constructed?
Well, I use real wood. I don't use plexiglass. I like to use real glass because it doesn't scratch then, especially with reptiles. I use a special sealant, which I don't really tell anybody what I use because it took me years to finally find the right element to create such a habitat that would contain the water. So high quality materials is basically what I use. You get what you pay for.
And with that, he also designed so they're kind of modular. So that way they're easy to take apart and then put back together. So as we're transporting it in the delivery process, it all fits in kind of like a puzzle, and then you put it together like a puzzle. So that makes it really unique.
So what kind of tropical plants and animals are put in these enclosures?
Well, usually for the animals, I would use artificial plants. It makes the maintenance a lot easier, so you don't have to try to maintain the live plants if that's what you had, because the animals have a tendency to rip things apart, so it'd be hard to keep live plants in there. However, if you wanted to use live plants, that also is another option, but I would only use that if you had an animal such as a snake or something that wouldn't have a tendency to rip things apart.
And we've done all different kinds of animals. We've done snakes, turtles, small birds. It's really a type of environment that's conducive for all animals in that type of realm.
And they're absolutely beautiful, these enclosures. Now, my question is cleaning them. You went a little bit into that. Easy or difficult?
Very easy. It's just you rinse the unit out with a hose, and as the water goes across the base of the enclosure, depending on what design it is, I have one design that has actually a pit where there's a sump pump that sits down inside, so all the dirty water goes down inside, and it gets flushed out, and usually it's pumped right into the septic.
That's pretty awesome. Makes it easy, doesn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, they're awesome showpieces. Now, what about size? Because we've seen some of the larger enclosures. What if somebody wants a custom piece that's a little bit smaller, say for an office or a home?
Well, I build everything to, custom tailored to whatever you want. So I've done anything from 2 feet wide, 7 feet tall, or a corner hutch, to something 8 feet long, right to the ceiling. So it really depends on your needs, the space available in your home or office, and we just work with it. And of course, depending on what type of animal you're going to have too, has a lot to do with how big you want to go or small.
Or small, exactly. Now I believe you just finished up an amazing project here in South Florida. We're going to be taking a look at some of this video B-roll. Tell us what we're looking at.
Right, this was a little different out of the ordinary because this didn't have any animals in it. It was strictly just for live plants. So it was really a paludarium or a terrarium where we had the right, left, and rear walls filled with rock formations that enabled you to plant different plants. So we had some bromeliads, orchids, and air plants. And it just filled the whole enclosure. And then we had a waterfall that was illuminated on one side, and then it would run across a land area and then dip down into a pool area. And it was really a nice feature for the living room. And it was recessed into the wall, so we picture framed it, so it looked really pretty.
Beautiful. Yes, it's stunning. Now talk about delivery and assembling these enclosures. I mean, is this difficult, and do you do it yourself?
Well, yes. Actually, when I create the enclosure at my workshop, I have it all set up with the vines, the rock formations, and then I have to label everything, take photographs, and take it all apart so I can remember how it all goes back together. So there's quite a bit of work involved with that. And for those enclosures that I actually ship out, where I don't deliver, then I actually have to videotape myself assembling it and taking it apart, so the homeowner will be able to see how it goes together. And it makes it actually very easy for them because they could go step by step how it goes together rather than having something just printed out in pictures. So I found that just videotaping the whole thing is actually better. So they get a custom DVD.
That's awesome. Now talk about how long it takes you to construct one of these.
It depends how large they're going to be. So if it's going to be small, sometimes it could take me about 3 weeks. If it's going to be a much larger enclosure, it could take 4 to 6.
Now, Tina Marie, as this awesome artist's business manager, tell me about customer service. What makes you guys so unique?
Well, we really care about the client and about the animals that go in there. I think that alone sets us apart. We also, when we deliver and set up, it's not, you never hear from us again. We make ourselves very accessible to our clients, so if they need to call us, email us, anything, they can contact us no matter what. And so when you call Jworlds, you're not going to just get a machine on the other end saying and push a lot of buttons. You're going to get Jay or me. So we try to make it very personable, and we want the clients to really feel that they're valued, and also that we really care about the creatures that go in it. We're very passionate about what we do. We really love what we do, and we love the animals that go in there, and that kind of shines through. Now,
I understand you have a DVD on your website, and you'll be adding some more. Can you tell us about that?
Well, it's going to be part of it will be this show, and then I'm going to have some additional feature of setups across the country so you can see more detail, more different designs, because I have a lot of different designs of enclosures. And I'm also, down the road, I'm going to have a DVD that's going to be our trip to Costa Rica, Jworlds visiting Costa Rica, because part of that was to go there to understand animal behavior and to see how they interact and how they adapt to their environment, so I can simulate that back home.
Jay, Tina Marie, thank you both for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Now, for you folks at home, you can have one of these amazing enclosures in your home or office by simply logging onto the web and visiting www.jworlds.net. Once again, for more information, to have Jworlds build you a beautiful enclosure that you have always dreamed about, the site to visit is www.jworlds.net. This site has dozens of pictures and ideas, so be sure to visit them today.